Hi everyone,
G'day.
and welcome to Parkside Live, and Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year indeed.
Yes, happy 2026. We hope that wherever you're joining us from, that as we chat about New Year, maybe same place, doesn't always feel new, that just our conversation might encourage you tonight. We'd love to hear from you as well, if that's the case. And even if it's not, if you've got questions, I'll leave a comment or, DM us or whatever, and we'll get back to you when we can.
Yeah, so this week I stopped in, as so many of us do, just to fill up and at a local service station. And when I walked in, I think I said, Happy New Year. And the person behind the counter said, Happy New Year. What's new about it? Here I am, I'm in the same place, I'm doing the same job, I'm working the same hours. What's new? And we had a bit of a chuckle about it at the time. But I think that underneath a bit of a chuckle, there's actually some truth to that.
Yeah.
And perhaps as you're watching this, you might feel that whilst the calendar has clicked over, that you're in the same place, you're seeing the same people, you feel the same.
Yeah.
And what does it matter that the year is new if everything else is the same? And I don't know, have you ever felt like that?
Yeah, I think, you can get caught up in, it's a new year, and maybe start thinking about what could be new. It doesn't mean it is now, but the reality of it, once, January the 1st clicks over, it's another, what was it this year? It's another Thursday.
Yep.
There might be a few less things on than normal, but it's another Thursday. What do I need to do on Thursday? I still need to put washing out. I need to work out what we're having for dinner. There's a few things that feel the same.
Yeah. Yeah. And so when we're talking about new, we're talking about something that is fresh, something that has only recently begun or recently come into being, or something that is new. And I think sometimes we deal with this feeling of sameness by distracting ourselves with something new.
Yeah, the bright and shinies.
I used to work with someone who would, every time a new iPhone was released, they would sit down and they would watch the whole presentation for the phone and then dutifully go out and buy the new phone.
Wow.
And psychologists will tell us that when we buy something new, there's a 3-day change in how we feel. We actually feel better because we have something new. And so when we have this sense of sameness, which we encounter, and sometimes that can be at a new year, sometimes it can just be in a job, sometimes you can feel like that in a relationship, oh, this is just the same and I'm looking for something. We can try and distract ourselves with something that maybe feels new, but doesn't actually change us, doesn't actually change the world that we're living in. What does it mean to actually move into the new? And as we so often do, we're going to draw some inspiration from the scriptures. And we're going to read tonight from a letter. It's 2 Corinthians, and we're going to read from chapter 5. And I'll just read here. And it says this. Here we go. Right here it says, Christ's love lives in us. Since we believe that Christ died for all, we also believe that we have all died to our old life. There's that old in contrast to the new. He died for everyone so that those who receive his new life will no longer live for themselves. Instead, they will live for Christ who died and was raised for them. So, we have stopped evaluating others from a human perspective. At one time, we thought of Christ merely from a human point of view, but how differently we know him now. This means that anyone who belongs in Christ has become a new person. The old life has gone, the new life has come. And all of this is a gift from God, who brought us back to himself through Christ, and God has given us this task of reconciling people to him. And so, even a casual listen there, we're talking about this idea of old and new. And when we feel the same, we feel this is old. And perhaps more deeply, when we are caught in a moment that we feel is the same, it's that we have lost the hope of change. That we no longer think that change is possible in our situation. And perhaps you can find that in a work day. I remember I was doing process work, and there was a machine that would roll out bits of metal. And my job was to stack them and move them. And I did that for 11 hours a day. Stacked and moved. And I think by about hour 4, you hit despair. This day is never going to end.
Yeah.
This stack is not going to go away. The bit of metal on the end is not getting any smaller. And you just go, all right, you resign yourself to the same old.
Yeah.
And even in our culture, we have the same, it's just the same old.
Yeah.
And whether that's for you, as you're watching this, you may be able to relate in terms of employment. You may have had a job that you felt is just the same old. You may be in a relationship, and perhaps that's even romantic, where you feel like the spark is gone. It's the same old. Sometimes it's friendship groups. Sometimes you walk around your community and you just think, same old. And then I think when we unpack that, we think, well, is it me, or is it what's going on outside? And I don't know what you feel when you get this sense of the same old. How much is it about you wanting a change, and how much is it about just the external stuff not changing? Yeah. And so when we come to this, there is this offer of something new.
Yeah.
There is an invitation to something new, a new way of living, a new way not only of living, but actually the writer here talks about at one time seeing things, themselves, the world, from a human perspective. A perspective that might say this is just simply the same old, things will never change.
Yeah.
It's always been like that, and it will always be like that. And yet there is this shift in perspective that occurs. I have a friend who I was talking to this week, and they'd just gone in for some treatment. And the doctor called me up and said, look, I need to talk to you about your friend. Something's going on. And we talked about a few things. And I just said, look, he just needs to believe that he is worth looking after. And the doctor laughed, not harshly, but just, I agree. And so if we see ourselves as someone who is incapable of change, someone who is destined to just complete the same old loop, that is a good reason for despair. And yet we're invited to something beyond that. I don't know if you've ever met a person who has impacted you so deeply that you feel like they've changed your opinion on a significant issue. They may have changed the way that you see your life. I don't know, have you ever had that experience?
Really, it was someone who he was actually like an international speaker and author, and just listening to this person and the way that he lived, I kind of felt like, it's not just me. And it changed then how I felt about myself and the world around me, because I didn't feel so alone.
Yeah. And so you, high profile person, and you felt it's not just me. Someone else sees things the way that I do. How did that then impact you after that encounter?
It just meant that I think I was more confident in, speaking up about the same things that this person was talking about, and also looking for change in the same areas that this person was speaking about, because it was like, I'm not the only person who sees that there's a need for a change in this area. So I felt like, even though this person wasn't going to come and do it with me, but it just felt like I wasn't so alone. So I could try and, make a move in this area, or feel more confident about just speaking up about this need for a change in some way.
And as you watch this, you probably encounter lots of people who have encouraged you to stay the same, indirectly. Don't bother. It's not worth the effort. Things are okay just the way they are. But perhaps you too have encountered someone that's motivated you to change. That's exactly what we get here, except it's not just motivation. That when the writer of this letter says, when you encounter this being, this one that we call the Messiah, the chosen one, you will discover a new perspective on life. And that perspective is a perspective that is powered by love. And as we look at our lives, we can be powered by lots of things. I was listening to a business communicator this week, and they were saying, use whatever motivation you can. They said, I tried the positive thinking, that didn't work for me. What worked for me was being angry. I was angry at being poor. I was angry that my plans weren't working. I was angry that when I went to family gatherings, people would look at me as the poor member of the family. And that's what motivated him. Sometimes we can be motivated by a desire for that next new thing.
Yeah.
Buy the next thing, buy the next car, buy the... I wonder, as you watch this, what is motivating you at the moment? What is the energy that drives your life? There's also the possibility that it's actually apathy, that we're not driving, we're just sitting.
Yeah.
That there is no energy, that we have lethargy instead of energy.
Yeah.
And yet the invitation here is that when we encounter this chosen one, that actually we experience a love that is beyond this world. That we are transformed by a love that is greater than ourselves. A love that says, you are worthy, that you are loved deeply. That you matter. That before you were a twinkle in your Father's eye, that you were deeply loved. Before you made any mistake, before you experienced any injustice, that you were loved. And this creator of the world stepped into the world and said, I am with you. And after the mistakes, he says, you are loved. After the injustice, he says, you are still loved. I know what it's like to experience injustice. I grew up as a foreigner, oppressed in a military regime, and was actually bullied out of my social groups and killed because I threatened the established authorities. And he says, you are loved. There's an invitation here to have your life transformed by love. And I don't think it matters really what you believe. That right now is an opportunity to experience this divine love, this transcendent love and compassion. And as you're watching this, if you never experienced that, there is an invitation to you right now to experience this divine love. To simply ask and receive. And as we see here, your life will be transformed. The way you see yourself will be different. The way that you see the world around you will be different. And that is an invitation that is available right now. And then that invitation, I want to just show you two paths forward from that invitation. As we look at this person who stepped into our world, who said, I'm here to offer you a new life. There are two lives that were touched in two different ways. And I just want to tell you about them. Now one, there's a story of a tax collector. Now, a tax collector was the lowest of the low in those days. Someone who collected for the government, and in this culture, the government was actually a foreign power who ruled by military might. And so, if you're working for the government, that's not a stable job, that's a betrayal of your own people. And so, most people in this job were excluded. They were not invited to the gatherings, the feasts, the parties. They were not a part of the social network. They were on the edges. And often, to make up for the animosity that they dealt with, they would just take.
Yeah.
One for the government, one for me, one for me. And so then that added to their isolation. And yet Jesus walks up to this one individual and says, I want you to come follow me. And the story goes that he got up and he left. He left his occupation. He left his location. And he left his social connections. And when we experience this love, there is sometimes a call to leave our location, to go to a new place, to go to a new occupation. Because that's all we can see is just this love, and I've got to do this, I've got to do this. And as we step into this life of love, that may be the call that you experience. But then there's also another man, a person who struggled. The scriptures talk about a person who struggled with demons to the point where his own town, his own family, his own community actually ostracized him and kicked him out and said, you've got to go. And then Jesus steps into his life and he brings this man recovery and healing. And it freaks everyone out and they say, go away, leave us alone. Jesus turns to go, and this person who has been healed says, I want to go with you. I want to leave this life behind. And Jesus says, no, I want you to stay in the same old place with the same old connections, but I want you to go back with a new perspective. And as you're watching this, you may be sensing an invitation into something new. And that may be a new location, a new occupation, and a new social connections. But there are some of you who are watching this, and the call is to go into that same location, into that same occupation, into that same social connections, but bring this fresh perspective of love. That we can actually see a new world unfold right where we are. But it begins with this experience of a love that may be new to you. And maybe it's a love that you've heard about but never experienced. If you want to step into this new life, if you want to step into this invitation into something new, and whether that is a new location, new vocation, new connections, or whether it is turning up in the same place with a new perspective on yourself, on your life, and with a new energy to see a new world come into being, a world that is based on love and justice. Then we want to invite you right now, as you're watching this, to just pray a very simple prayer, a prayer that says, Jesus, I give you my life. Give me your life. Give me your love. Give me that call on my life. And if that's a decision that you're ready to make as you watch this, then pray with us right now these two sentences. Jesus, I give you my life. Give me your life. Jesus, I give you my life. Give me your life. And if you just pray that prayer, we would love to support you on the next steps. Please send us a DM on social media. If you're watching this on YouTube, please send us a comment. Or join us at Parkside in Southwest Sydney. Thanks for tuning in. God bless you.